Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the market close. This is, of course, the last market close of November. So we're going to take a look at the month. We're going to see, did we finish in the green? Those of you, of course, who have been coming to these regularly, you already know the answer to that. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the market as it closes. Mind you, the U.S. market today did close early. They closed at 1 p.m. Eastern as part of their Thanksgiving Day long weekend. So they're open for a little bit. They were also closed yesterday, of course, for the U.S. Thanksgiving. Today is also Black Friday. So we'll hear about any great deals any of you have found today. So definitely drop your great deals in the chat. I want to hear what you guys have bought. Or maybe you didn't buy anything at all. Maybe you're waiting for the GST holiday. I don't know. Could be. It did pass yesterday in the House of Commons. Interesting thing about the GST holiday, though, they had to. The NDP were not willing to support it unless they separated out that rebate from it, because they want changes to the rebate before they can support that. So it was just the GST holiday that passed yesterday. The rebate itself, what the NDP wants is they want, basically they want more people to be eligible for the rebate. They want seniors, they want people who are disabled, basically just expanding it to people who would have been left out of it. So we'll have to see how that looks when things get around. Okay, now, now that we've done that, let's actually pull up the market. Let's take a gander, see what we got there today, and we'll answer the question too. What kind of month was November? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, give me a second here. Let me pull this on up. All right, here we go. I still get the sniffles. I still have a little bit of sniffles, and I still have a little bit of a cough. That darn flu, it is holding on. It does not want to let go, but I don't care. I'm going to power through. I'm going to power through anything that's left over from it. So it had its time. Its time is now past. Looking at the market, and I guess I better pull up my big screen over here. Okay, as you guys can see, down at the bottom is that blue line. So that blue line, folks, that's where we entered November, the TSX. And as you can see, we are well above it. With quite literally 13 minutes left, we would almost need, we would need a black swan event of just absolute chaos for us not to finish this month in the green. So yeah, November, a nice solid green month. The next market close that we do next Wednesday, we'll have a brand new line, and we're going to do this again for December. It's kind of fun to see how far above that line, but we've had a good month. We've had a good month. I did drop a poll up as well to see where you guys are personally. Oh God, a stupid cough. So far, let me take a look here. 92% of you are in the green. 8% of you just want to get rid of the poll. Don't want to answer. Fair enough. I'm going to say that 8% is probably in the green too. I'm going to say we probably have 100%. We'll let this poll run a little bit longer though and see how things are going. Back, of course. I was going to say back, of course. Looking at the S&P 500, as I said, it was a half day. It did finish in the green today, 0.32% up. 0.56% up. The 0.32 is what the TSX finished up. The NASDAQ up 0.90%. Dow Jones up 0.42%. Gold is up today, 0.63%. Silver up 1.40%. Oil's not up. Oil's down a little bit. Negative 0.6 down. So what can we say? Bitcoin having a solid day, up 1.93%. Ethereum up 0.56%. So we got a little bit of movement to the upside. Just a couple of tech stocks. I got 3 of them up here at the top. NVIDIA was up 2.09%. MicroStrategy up 1.66%. And Tesla up a big 3.64%. We'll see that in the heat map here in just a moment. All right. Ooh, Elementation Couche-Tard. Looking at the Canadian heat map, we do have, well, I had a mirror in the way. blocking my screen so I couldn't see it. We had a pretty good day. You can see a lot of the green starting to peek through for sure. The banks kind of mostly flat. Now this week coming up, it's earnings weeks for the Canadian Big Six, as well as like Laurentian Bank, Canadian Western, EQ Bank. So we got a whole bunch of bank earnings coming up in this next week, which means the following week we get our bank review. We do a bank review every quarter. That will be coming up, so that's going to be fantastic. Let's see what we got here. Do we have any really big winners that are sort of sticking out? Not a lot sticking out. It looks like we have a lot of sort of smaller winners. Well, you know what? Let's actually just bring it up. Let's see who we have in the winner circle. We got Skidoo here. They were here a second ago. They just vanished. I don't know where they went. But they were up. They were definitely up. Let's see. Sobo is up 3.07. And that, of course, is that South Bow Corporation that spun off of TA. Yeah, we got a few things that are up. Not a lot of really big things. Aritzia, if you like Aritzia, they're up 1.97%. Bombardier up 2.81%. Not too shabby. Well, I think they're called, isn't this Wellness? Well Health Technology. They're up 5.41%. So not too shabby. Looking at the U.S., like I said, we did have some good showings with Tesla up 3.69, Nvidia up 2.15, Apple up a full percent, Broadband up 1.51%. So not too shabby there. Oh boy. All right, we'll just move over. We're going to move over to crypto. Crypto, pretty green day overall. But look at this, XRP up 12.38%. So if you're holding XRP, you had a pretty darn good day, that's for sure. Oh, sorry there. Dogecoin up 8.25%. That's not too shabby either. Now, guys, there's like about 15,000 crypto out there. There are so many altcoins. A lot of them are crap coins. They're very much like penny stocks. Now, it's a green day. Let's find ourselves some green coin, some red coin that I have never heard of. All right, we'll dig in a little deep here. Let's go with whatever this here is. Hava. HVH. So HAVAH. Hava. I have no idea what this is. I don't even know if I can pronounce it. But it's like worth 0.0. So, well, it's basically 0.3 of a penny. Not worth very much. It looks like at one point it was worth 1.7 cents. Once again, no idea what this does. Honestly, I don't even care what it does. It's another one of those 15,000 altcoins out there that are what I call crap coins. Other people in the crypto industry, they use a slightly more vulgar term for them. But you guys can imagine that. I'm not going to say it. But yeah, so here is another crap coin. Guys, don't buy it. Please don't buy it. If you're going to invest in crypto, stick with the ones that you at least have a better idea of what they do. Ones that you have better conviction in. Stick with the winners. Your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your Solana, and even the Dogecoin. I'm not a huge fan of Dogecoin, but it's probably going to be around for a while. So it's probably it's a lot safer than Havana or Havada or Havava, whatever that's called. I really don't know. All right. Holy banana bread. Let's jump back in here to you guys. I'm going to, first of all, let's go big screen for that. All right, I think big screen is 5. There we go. All right, Jonathan, first in the house, go Green Market Power Ranger. Nice. Stan is in the house with a happy Friday, y'all. We got 9, best time of the month. Dividends and interest starts coming in for me until mid-December. Yeah, I'm looking forward to December. I am so looking, and that's not just because we're going to be doing so much stuff on the channel. I'm I think September is going to be a pretty stable month. Pretty stable month for sure. Larry says, CZMWY Carl Zeiss 58.85 dropped on 50 million miss for the year, 5.3 billion market cap, 2 billion revenue per year, 14 million cash, 142 million in debt, 3 billion in assets. Been watching it for a while. Nice. And let's see. We bought 1,000 shares. We'll hold and buy more if it drops to $50. Sounds like you got a bit of a move starting here. It looks like we got a bit of a move. All right, Missy is in the house with a hello, friends. 9 says, do those no-name crypto coins ever provide anything, or is it just pump and dump? I'll stick with BTC. Yeah, that's where you're going to. If you're going to find a big pump and dump in crypto, or a rug pull, that's going to be in one of those type of coins. And sometimes you can tell. Sometimes you can tell stuff is going down. Like back when Squid Games first came out on Netflix and everybody was going crazy about the Squid Games, along came a coin called Squid, I think it was called Squid Games or something like that. And people were buying it. People were like, oh my God, this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge. And they were buying into it. And I looked at it and I said, oh man, this smells like a rug pull. There's no way they're even going to get a penny out of me. And it did. It turned out to be a big rug pull. So anybody who invested in it lost everything. It's just not worth it. At least, and I hate to say it, I'm going to say something nice about penny stocks, but at least with penny stocks, you don't find them to be rampant with scams and things like that are trying to sort of steal some of your money. I'm not to say that all crap coins are like that. I mean, some of them are trying. They're just, there's just too much. There's too much. What's the word? Interference in your signal when you're looking at some of the crap coins. So be careful. Be careful for sure. But I have known people who have gone in and have found some obscure coin and managed to ride it up for part of the way and make some money. So it is possible, but still be careful. All right. Jonathan says, yeah, have a ha. I don't want a ha. Exactly. All right. Ian, it says, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad you feel better. Yeah, I mean, I feel good. Other than, I got a little bit of sniffles. And that cough just seems to want to come along. But yesterday, I actually went outside in the backyard, and we have a catio. And what happened is, over the last year, the roof of the catio seemed to be holding water. So Jill pulled the roof off, and I went out and I built the first part of a new roof. So basically, chicken wire along the top so, cats can't get out. A couple of pieces of wood just to hold everything together. And so it's functional now. But we're going to put like some kind of I think we're actually going to put a tarp. And then we're going to have it angled up so that any water just will roll off of the tarp. So anyway, I was out doing that yesterday. I felt great doing it. A little sore afterwards because there was there was a staple gun work. There was hand sawing and all kinds of stuff. Even wire cutting. I mean, there was a lot of fun stuff. Missy says, I like the song Havana. Oh, there we go. Isaac says, sold ATD yesterday and Eli today before it went even higher. Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that? So yeah, I mean, with Alimentation Couche-Tard, because I know I've been talking a lot about, what they're going to do to finance the purchasing of 7-Eleven. If it happens, that's the big words is if. If it doesn't happen, they're probably going to go higher. There's no way around it. And I think we looked a lot of it at, was it on Wednesday? Was it Wednesday that we were doing it all on the board? I think it was either Wednesday or Sunday. But yeah, so we'll have to see. I can't wait to sort of find out exactly how that's going to happen. I know some of the family who own, are looking to try to take it private to keep Alimentation Couche-Tard off of their backs. So we'll have to look. Candace, you look pretty in pink. I think it's more of a wine color, actually, but thank you nonetheless. Vineet says, love the poll question. Hold high. High, high, high. And we've got Mary in the house with a big hello. Guys, Mary's in the house. That means you got to hit the like button. So right now we're at 13 likes. Guys, let's get to 15. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee while you guys push that to 15. Let's do it. I know you guys can do it. The last one, you guys pushed it all the way up to 50 before the end of the show. So let's get those first couple steps done, and then we'll go from there.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Thank you, Alexa. I'm not sure how Alexa got involved in that, but hopefully she gave us a like. If she can, I don't know. All right, let's see here. There we go. We're up to 18. Nice. You guys rock. All right. Vineet says, oops, I hope. All right, and Vineet says, I hold XRP. I meant to say, but Wealthsimple doesn't have the days return, only total return. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Hi, ladies, Missy and Mary, and Enid. All right, we got a whole bunch of. Oh my God, guys! I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm a minute late. I got completely distracted with the chat. We're a whole minute late. Well, anybody who's late to the show, you may have ended up catching the bell. I didn't put a lot of effort into that one. I really should have. I was going to because of the end of the month, but because I didn't really give a warning, I thought I'll go light because I know that some folks like to get those earbuds out before I start hitting on the bell because it can be definitely pretty darn loud. So my goal is to give people warning every old time we do that. Funny Books is in the house, and with a hello everyone. Let's see, Eli Lilly did not do well this month. Let's actually, you know what? Let's take a gander at that. We've got to bring up the thing. I think that is 6. There we go. All right. Where is my... Oh, you know what? Here it is. All right. Whoops. All right. Eli Lilly. There we go. Like I can actually find anything today. What are we going to do? Eli, Lilly. Come on, guys. It should be here. All right. Oh, here it is. Down here. Lly. Voila. Let's pull it up. All right. This is going to be fantastic. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's just take a look and see what they did the last month. Okay, so yeah, look at this. They were up at 846. They definitely did come down. We had a little bit of a big drop there. I think they had an earnings report in there as well. I want to take a look here. Let's pull them up. LLY. Here we go. Eli Lilly. Bang. I think there was an earnings report in here somewhere. All right, so let's take a look. Nope, that's the ex dividend. Oh, they did not have an earnings report. They had earnings way back here. And they did miss. They missed on their last earnings, but that was right at the end of October. But it seems like they have just been kind of on a downward trend since then. Oh, gosh, that's not good. Not good for Eli Lilly. One of the things I do like here about TradingView is they will give me news, so I can look and see some of the latest news on Eli Lilly. This is kind of neat. So apparently this little bump up here maybe is a response from the UK approving its Alzheimer diagnostic agent. Okay, there we go. So that might help. But you keep in mind too, there was one big news thing that broke in regards to Ozempic during the month, and that was that a lot of the people, they did a big news article on a lot of the people who went off Ozempic and how they were all gaining weight back like crazy. So they basically, if you go off Ozempic, the weight you lose, you're pretty much gaining that back and you're getting a bunch more. So that's kind of one of the things that's going on. if you go on Ozempic to lose weight, you almost kind of have to stay on it for the rest of your life, because otherwise you're just going to gain it right back. So you kind of have to look at it from that way and sort of see what's going on with it. All right. Holy banana bread. Let's see here. Where was I? Vineet says, XRP trades 24 hours, so no total return for the day. That's right. Yeah, XRP does all crypto. It runs at 24/7. It's always trading. So yeah, for sure. Missy says, we are late. ADHD. Yeah, I know. What can I say? I still can't believe I got distracted again. That's what happens, right? I get distracted. I miss my bell time. And that probably means for the next week or two, I'll be like eagle-eyed on that time, so I get it on time each time. All right. Roku Stittsville saying, hello all, anyone taking advantage of the Black Friday sales? I did get a new phone and a plan. Nice. What did you get, Roku? What phone did you get? I'm curious. But yeah, I mentioned this at the top of the show. What Black Friday deals did you guys get? This is going to be sad, but I ordered toilet paper yesterday because it was 15% off. Yeah, that's not much to brag about, but hey, I'll take it. Vineet says, thanks for keeping it light. Nice. Look, Butterfly, that's me. Anyways, all right. Jay says, I normally do not own single stocks, but I couldn't resist buying TELUS on the cheap. I probably will not own it long term after the dividend if it's still stuck around $30. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to sort of see how this is all going to work out. There's a few stocks that are really, excuse me, that are really down. TELUS is down, of course. Bell is down. That's another one that I think, I think they've hit their bottom. So I'm expecting them to come back up. TD Bank is another one that is also, I actually can't wait to see how the TD Bank's earnings work out next week. 9 says Canoe almost 16. Oh, I know. Canoe has been doing fantastic. Let's pull Canoe up here. Oh, here's my whiteboard, but we'll pull Canoe. EIT. Here we go. Yeah, so look at this. $15.70. They made it all the way up to $15.72. So that's not too shabby. But let's take a look at the last 6 months. Canoe has just been on a tear. They did have this one little peak up here at $15.77, but yeah, Canoe has been definitely behaving very, very well. So, and I know a lot of people in this community hold them. So, you're getting your 10 cents a month dividend, which is fantastic. But lately we've been getting a lot of growth. Like, let's actually go all the way back. You can trace this big giant growth spurt all the way back to pretty much October of 2023. So we've had about a year of just absolutely crazy growth. Now, when we go back to the 10-year, actually, let's even go back to the 15-year, you can sort of see we've been here before, not quite. We're a little bit higher than where we have been. But normally Canoe tends to be mostly sort of get themselves in a zone eventually. They're not there yet. And they become more of an income stock. But right now, as you can see, oh boy, I would have loved to have gotten that $6 Canoe down there on the pandemic. But then from the pandemic, they recovered. Then we of course went here into a bear market, and then they recovered from that pretty good. One of the things about the Canoe management team is they actually move some of their investments around. So when we start to move into like recessionary type markets or bear markets, what they will do is a lot of times they'll start shifting some of the stuff to more recession-proof investments, and they'll also maintain a larger fixed income during that time as well. So it tends to be pretty good that way. That's one of the things I do like about them. So just something to keep in mind. And now with this growth, this is not a normal growth for them. So this has been fantastic. So if anybody who's new to the game and has discovered Canoe recently and you're thinking, oh my God, this is a mega total return stock, great dividend, fantastic growth. Eventually this will level off. and then it will be more of a actually, and somebody mentioned in the comments, I think, for the vote, the current vote right now for the next deep dive, they mentioned about Canoe saying that they're not that great anymore. Right now, I beg to differ. Right now, they're doing it fantastic, but once they level off, you're going to have maybe a stable 8% dividend. You can get higher for sure. So, I would call them mid to low high tier when it comes to dividend stocks. Once they level off, though, right now, this is very hard to beat. Very hard to beat. And you guys will see when we do the next video out on Tuesday is the 0 to 100K challenge. And you'll see how it did in that. You'll definitely see that for sure. But yeah, almost to 16. That's fantastic. M Gerard says election RFK. Yeah, we have that big election. And yeah, I mean, RFK, I don't know how he's going to what role he will play against something like Ozempic. But I can understand, I know that there's, people are worried a little bit about the vaccines and that with him, but we'll wait. We'll see how this is all going to roll out. All right. Vic is in the house, and let's see. Gotta hit the road, Candace. Sorry, I can't. Let's see. I can't stay. Smashed like though. Perfect. Always liking that. JJ is in the house with a howdy. Perfect. And let's see. We'll just be in the background as I'm still working. Not a problem. Let's see, I deleted that comment as it was offensive, but you saw it anyway. Was there an offensive? I didn't see an offensive comment. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Missy. What, the one about the pink? I don't know. I didn't find that offensive. Yeah, I will mention sometimes, guys, because I am using, I use Ecamm Live. So it ports the comments in. So if you remove a comment, I don't always know that you've done it because it still shows up here. So just be aware that sometimes a deleted comment I might accidentally read it. I might because I don't have a clue that it's been deleted. And I apologize. I apologize ahead of time if I accidentally read a deleted comment. I apologize for sure. 9 says, I just put in an order for ENCC, 1 penny worth. Why not? Every penny counts. That is a for sure. Jonathan says, can you add special effects while you ring the bell? There is, Jonathan, now that you mention it, there are ways to create some special effects here, like lightning and things like that. I don't know how yet, but it is something I've been thinking about. So that would be very cool. That would be very, very cool. So maybe. It won't happen right away because I have to figure out how to do it. But probably, to be honest, it probably won't happen until January because December is really booked packed for sure. All right. Roku got a Google Pixel Pro XL. Nice phone. Absolutely. I mean, I'm in the Apple ecosystem, but if there were a phone that would pull me out of the Apple system, that's a good contender. That's a good contender for sure. All right. Isaac says, I was hoping ATD would buy 7-Eleven, but I don't know where that is now. Yeah, the last update I heard is that the family is trying to looking into taking the company private as a way, sort of as a defensive measure to prevent ATD. But I also heard about a counteroffer too. So I need a new update on that as well, Isaac, to get so that we kind of know where things are going. Right now, things are still up in the air. So that's why I was saying, like, if you're thinking of, if anyone's thinking of selling ATD right now because you're worried about the dilution, we're not there yet. Jonathan says Best Buy has a queue on their website because they can't handle the traffic. Oh boy. Well, you got to look at it this way too, Jonathan. with rate cuts starting to happen, this is going to be one of the first holiday seasons where people are going to start buying again. So that almost kind of makes sense. Holy banana bread, for sure. Michael says, what happens to GRFS, which I know a company dropped their bid or buy for the company, which wanting a higher price, I think. GRFS. Let me take a look. I don't know who that is. Oh boy. I somehow made things really, really big. Fine. We'll just let's get to GRFS first. GRFS. All right. Let's see. Grifols SA. All right. Let's take a gander at them. Well, all right. Okay. How did I manage to somehow I managed to, I don't know what I did. I really don't know what I did. All right. We're looking at really fat candles. What the heck? I'm going to pull things down a little bit here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot here. I'm not seeing a lot here. How the heck did I manage to do that? Oh, well, I don't know what I did. Oh, there we go. There we go. Aha. It's not a sideways scroll. It's an up and down scroll. I got it. All right. So, yeah, look at this. They did come down quite a bit. There's nothing in here that says what happened. I don't know if we have any news articles, though, for GRFS. Let's see. Shortened session. Yeah. Sector. Yeah, there's really, let's see. In talk with banks to extend credit, faculty, refinance bonds. So, yeah, you might have to dig in there to find out what the heck happened here, but there is nothing obvious. There's no obvious stimulus that would have knocked that down. So, yeah, without digging in deeper, I have no clue. I have no clue, Michael. JJ says, I renewed my Grammarly Premium Scriptin at 55% off for Black Friday. It's really great for my business. Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, I imagine Grammarly is getting much better. Probably, I don't know if they have incorporated AI in yet. I imagine they probably have. But, yeah, I can't wait. Enid says, I'm looking for booking some Mexico trip for February. Hopefully I'm back on Black Friday deals. Ooh, that's nice. Hopefully, Enid, you're going someplace warm. I think last time you went to was it a tropical island? I think it was. I think it was someplace tropical, but hopefully you're going back, at least someplace warm. RD says, hello, thank you for the XDiv analysis. You're welcome for sure. Let's see. Larry says, I don't know though, it is already cold. Why do French enjoy snails? They don't like fast food. Oh my gosh. That's funny. That is funny. I think that's great. Good one, RD. Good one. Let's see. Larry says it's 57, which is what, 13.88 Celsius here, and it's cold to me. Yeah, absolutely. One Christmas, I went down to Montgomery, Alabama for Christmas. And it was probably around 57 many of the days when I was there. And I was nice and toasty as a Canadian, but the folks I was staying with, they were just bundling up because they were cold, and I was like, ha ha ha, oh boy. But yeah, anyway, that was fun. We actually were under a tornado warning at one point, and I was like, I want to go out and see, and they're like, no, we should be going to the center of the house. I'm like, I'll be right back. I went out and I watched. It was really windy. Then a leaf hit me in the eye, so I went back in, and they laughed at me, made fun of me, but yeah, I just wanted to see. Let's see, JJ says, oops, wait a minute, before JJ, ATD to the moon, maybe, I mean, I think long-term, Alimentation Couche-Tard, I think they're definitely moon-bound long-term. JJ says, yes, Grammarly has AI checker built in. It's very useful. All right. Mexico. All right. Heading to Mexico. Nice. Let's see. Just made it during my lunch. Hello, Paul. Welcome. Enid says, I just returned from Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. Wow. You're definitely having a good time. I can't stand the winter in Canada. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. We have not yet had snow here. I have seen a couple flakes. Um, Apparently, I think Wednesday. I think Wednesday coming up, we're supposed to get about 5 centimeters. That will be our first snowfall of the year. Hopefully, if it happens during the day, I can do the financial blogmas outside in it. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It depends. I mean, if it happens overnight, then there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to get up at 3 in the morning and go out and do the financial blogmas. So yeah, we'll leave that be for now. All right, RD says we should have a mild one this year. Depends on where you are, but yeah, the West Coast is supposed to be colder than normal. Ontario and most of the East, it's going to be slightly warmer than normal. I think the Maritimes are probably going to get the best break when it comes to winter this year. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting nonetheless. Nonetheless, that's for sure. Now, not everybody hates the winter because we got Jungle Eddie here who loves me some winter. There we go. I mean, I've got some winter in this room right now. I've got a kitten who's sleeping up there, and her name is Winter. So, we got a little bit of winter going on. So that's kind of cool for sure. But yeah, the Financial Blogmas, guys. So that's starting on Sunday. And we're going to do something every single day for 24 days. They're probably mostly going to be little live snippets that we're going to do every day. I have no clue how long they're going to go. I'm just going to I'll come in with a topic and, if it takes me 15 minutes or if it takes me half an hour, that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to try to do most of those not in the studio. I want to sort of get out of the studio for those. But yeah, and in addition to all of those, all of the normal content, it's happening exactly the way it normally does. So in addition to that too, by the way, we are also going to be having our 5,000 sub celebration. We're getting close. I think we're 49 away, something like that. So that's going to be happening in December as well. And what's really good about that is we're looking to do a little bit of a contest for it. So we're going to have a stream where I'm going to come with questions. They're going to be easy. I'm not going to throw hard questions at you guys. And we're going to tally up whoever gets them right. So I haven't quite figured out if I'm going to just, maybe the first 2 people who get the right answer, as long as they do them both close to the same time, because then I know that they're not copying off of each other, then we'll give them each a point. And whoever at the end of that stream has the most points is going to win a one-on-one with me for an hour. We can do whatever you want. If you want me to look at your portfolio, I can do that. If you want me to teach you something, I can do that. If you just want to, talk for an hour about anything and everything, I can do that too. So that's going to be that's going to be coming up. Whoever comes in second is also going to get a free deep dive. So you guys know how we do the subscriber sponsored. They're going to get one of those as kind of like, because to me it sucks to come in second if there's nothing there. Like I got to give a little something to second place. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. Larry says, who was it that sold those MicroStrategy calls that are out of the money today so they survived? That might have been, I don't know if that was Paul that was doing that. I think it was Paul. But JJ says, am I allowed to participate and win? Are you allowed to participate and win? I'll actually put up a poll. I will put up a poll for you, JJ, on... you know what? When should we do it? As soon as this current poll, the voting for the deep dive is done, we'll put up a poll for you. Because I'm going to let the community decide. I mean, I have no problem with it personally. But I don't want people to say, oh, the mod won. It's fixed. So I'll let the community decide. I'll let the community decide. So no worries there. No worries there. I love though. I love that you're sort of sitting back saying, "Ooh, I can win this. I can win this." Yeah, I mean, we'll make it. I mean, I'm gonna make it as fair as possible. That's why I said like the questions will be as easy as pie. As easy as pie. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It's gonna be something completely different anyway. But in addition, now keep in mind, it's not gonna just be like this 5,000 stream. I'm not gonna come in and sort of say, okay, you guys start answering questions. We'll do all the normal stuff too. Just like, maybe every 5 minutes or so, I'll throw out a question for you guys to answer. And then we'll use we'll use our good old whiteboard over here, and we'll keep it all tallied up for you guys. So, so if JJ is in it, we'll have a tally here. Oh, he got that one. If he get, maybe if he gets two, we'll do, we'll do it this way. I kind of like doing it that way. We'll do it that way. And we'll figure it out, and maybe, maybe Mary's in here doing it too, right? And then, we'll have to come in like here. JJ, Mary's beating you. You're going to have to work harder. So yeah, we'll play with it. We'll play with it for sure. All right. And here comes Paul. I sold covered call 4:30 November 29th. I bought it back just in case. Turns out I did not need to. Only made 1/3 of the original premium. Yeah, exactly. And I remember it's one of those things. Sometimes, you know what? Especially going into a long weekend. Sometimes it's like, or a long weekend. Sorry, a weekend. Well, it's kind of a long weekend for the U.S. I mean, because, you got half a day. So it's like almost, is there a word for a weekend where you get half a day in addition to the normal weekend? It's not a full long week. It's like a half long weekend. I don't know. There's got to be a name for that. But that's what you do get for sure. What can I say? What can I say? Oh, that is so good. That is fantastic. Oh my God. All right. Definitely good. Right. The vote. Right now, there is currently a vote on for the next deep dive. So be sure to go over to the community tab. And for those of you who do not know where the community tab is, I'm going to show you. You just go to your normal old YouTube like this. Oh boy, this person deleted all their videos. Oh boy, not much to watch on his channel, whoever Flickering Box is. But you go to, I guess I have to do it this way. I'm going to view my channel. So you go to the Mountain Finance channel. You got these little things up here along the top. You just go to community. And right down below, this is where it's going to be. So right now, EIT is actually in the lead. 35% of the vote. Brookfield Corporation, 32%. So it looks like it's between these two. And what we had? We've had 71 votes so far. So definitely head over there. Vote for whoever it is you want to win. Just because these guys are close doesn't mean you have to vote for them. If you really, really want ATD, vote for ATD. But definitely get your vote in, get your voice heard. That is all coming up. So yeah, I love the community tab. And the community tab is going to be changing soon. They are looking to add, so YouTube is looking to beef it up so that you guys will be able to go to the community tab and actually, whoa, what's this? Scheduled. Can I make a scheduled post? Look at that. I did not know I could do that. I don't know if that's a new feature or not, or if I'm just an idiot and I never looked at it before. But, okay, and then archived. Oh, interesting. All right. I swear I've never seen that before. That must be new. It must be new. But, yeah, what I was saying is soon enough, you guys will actually be able to go. And let's say you want to make a post on my community tab. You're going to be able to do it. I don't know if I don't know if I have any control over it. I probably do. I'll probably make that you have to be a sub to do it. I think that's fair, but we'll see if I have even that control. But it's going to be really interesting because then we can create like forms. It'll be almost like forms. So, and I do want to get, I actually do want to get the schedule up here. I should do that like this weekend to get the, because I can post a schedule. I don't know. I can't pin it though. I don't think I can pin anything. Can I pin something? No, I can't. Not yet anyway, but we'll get the schedule up, and if I have to keep posting it every so often, we'll do that. But yeah, anyway, it's looking really, really cool. I can't wait to see all of what they're going to do with that. All right. All right, so we're at the end of the month. What we have coming up is December. So what are you guys... Oh, guys, you know what I should do? I should end that poll that we currently have. Let me take a look here. So 83% of you had a green month. Oh my God, we actually had 3% with a red month, 6% with a flat month. Oh boy. Oh, guys, I wanted to see everybody in the green. And then 9% just wanted to get rid of the poll. All right, we'll end that poll right now. Poll is done. All right, oh boy. Anyway, all right, let me pull this back. There we go. Oh, and a little thing came up to my thing here. Add to broadcast. I don't know what that means. There we go. JJ says, you should give me membership gifting powers. You have membership gifting powers. It just costs you money to do it. Anybody can gift a membership. Let me show you how. All right. So if we go, we got to go back to the, actually this time here, we have to actually go into the, stream. All right. So here we go. You guys are probably going to get Infinite Me in a moment. All right. So this here, if you look down here, you got this little dollar sign. If you click on the dollar sign, this is where you find super stickers, super chats, and we got membership gifting down here. So you can go into the membership gifting. You just click on however many you want to give away. If you want to just give away one, that's what we just clicked on. It charges you. It brings that all up. You click buy. And then bang, boom, it comes up. And Zozo Trader. I've never heard of this person. But yeah, congratulations, Zozo Trader. I'm going to assume, let me get out of the Infinite Me. I'm going to assume, I have a lot of lurkers. And I love my lurkers. There's a lot of people in the background who are watching these who they don't type. Maybe it's because they're just listening, right? And they're doing work, things like that. Or maybe they're shy. It doesn't matter to me. I'm totally okay with that. And every so often, we do get a lurker that comes up out of the shadows and says hi. Or sometimes they win. So yeah, this is a brand new lurker that I have never seen before. There's a few that I'm aware of that I've seen occasionally. But yeah. Congratulations, Zozo Trader. It's like you got to say it twice. It's that important. Yeah, absolutely. 9 has come in and said, oh, and yeah, here's the thing for Zozo Trader, guys. So they won. So that's all you have to do if you ever want to do that. I certainly appreciate it, and obviously whoever wins certainly appreciates it as well. 9 says, hands together, or pray. I think it's pray, something like that. Okay. I'm getting good with emoticons. I really am. Let's see. Paul celebrates 12 months of membership. Message, have nothing to say right now. Yeah. And when you guys go into the super chat, if you're a channel member, you do get a free super chat every month that you can use. So as things get busier, and you guys, and those of you who've been here for a while, you notice that chats are a lot busier now than they used to be, and that's only going to continue to happen. So once chats get to a point that it's really, really busy, you want to probably use those to make sure that I get to your message, because we will get to a point where it's so busy that messages will, and this may be a couple years down the road. I don't know. We may get to a point where we're just waiting. Waiting. I don't know what the heck I was. It's because I was reading JJ's next message. About 9 was praying for a free membership. Oh, and too bad. You know what? It's the algorithm. I don't know how the algorithm works. But what I was saying, yeah, with those free super chats, use them. Definitely use them. Because you get a new one every month. You get one every single month. So, Paul just used one right now. Fantastic. It's a good way to make sure that I can see your note and I can make sure that your question gets answered. Once we get to that point, we're not at that point. Right now, I think we're still at a speed that I can pretty much get to most of them. I will occasionally skip messages if you're not talking to me directly. So, for example, if JJ starts talking to 9 and they're having a conversation, I'll probably skip them. I probably will. It's like, why? I don't need to read their conversation unless it's really good. then I'll get nosy and I'll read it. You guys know I will. All right. 9 says I have faith. AJ, first time watching here. Welcome, AJ. I love it. I love one of my favorite things, and everybody will tell you this, is when I see somebody who I've never seen before. So congratulations on finding us, and thank you for dropping in. I definitely really appreciate it. All right. Oh gosh, can't believe this cough is still lingering. We're at that point where we could leave, but I'll give you guys the get your final questions together moment. Throw them in, and as you guys know, sometimes I say, "Where's your final questions?" or "Throw your final questions." And an hour later, we're still going. It's entirely up to you guys. So, definitely get those questions in. And, guys, we're at 28 likes. What's it going to take to get you guys up to 30? Come on, guys. Let's get to 30 before Mary pops back in and says, guys, So, yeah, let's do that. 2 more of those. We'll get that done. All right. Let's see. Enid is saying welcome to AJ. 9 is saying welcome to AJ. Oh, look at that. Someone gave me a dislike. All right, I'll take it. Here's the funny thing, guys. They it was an accident. They changed it back. But I will say, when you give somebody a dislike, the algorithm likes those just as much as likes. So you're actually helping that YouTuber. So if you absolutely don't like a YouTuber, all that dislike is going to do is send them a message. It's not going to actually hurt their channel in any way, shape, or form. Just something to keep in mind. JJ, isn't it time for my participation poll? You know what, JJ? Let's do it on Sunday. I'll throw the poll up on Sunday for you. That way we'll let the people decide. This week crowd can decide on your fate. Exactly. Or wait till this week Sunday. Yeah, exactly. That's what we'll do. Mary says, could you look at toi.v? It's stalled. Yeah, I can absolutely look at it. Let's pull it up here. So that's topicus.com. Here we go. All right. Now somebody's having fun now. I'm watching it go from like to dislike to like. That's hilarious. I love it. All right, TOI, here we go, topicus.com. Let's pull it up. Let's see. So it seems to have stalled a little bit. All right, so Topicus, here we go. Okay, so yeah, it seems to be stalled in around that 120. So this one here, of course, is a spin-off from Constellation Software. I do like this company quite a bit. They are considered a Canadian tech company. I think they're going to be fine. I don't know why they stalled, but let's actually go in here and see if we get any information. Let's see here. TOI. Whoops. I almost spelled Tapow. All right. TOI. Topicus.com. Here we go. Let's pull this up. All right. Let's pull up Topicus. And all right. So yeah, I can see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they had a little bit of a drop here. What's going on with Topicus? Let's see. All right. So let's see. All right. So I guess TD Securities has listed them as a hold, but that's November 1st. So yeah, none of this data is very useful at the moment. So I don't know what's going on, Mary, with Topicus that it stalled, but I will say I do like them long term. And when we look at them, like let's actually, I mean, you can sort of see that since about right here, September, so basically September, October of 2022, they've mostly been on the move up. I don't see that changing. This is a really good company. When we pull up their key data, let's come in here. You'll see one of the things I love, their debt to equity ratio, 61%. So that's not too shabby. They have a pretty good, healthy return on equity at 19.38%, return on assets, 3.57. So this is a good company. I wouldn't be super concerned. I wouldn't be super concerned at all. I think they'll be fine. I do see them, like right now, we're looking at $120 a share. I can easily see this company being double, triple that, a couple of years down the road. All right, let's see. AJ says, what's the best way to start and contribute a dividend portfolio in your TFSA? All right, well, the first thing, AJ, is, and I noticed 9 saying check your contribution room to start. Yeah, absolutely. What you want to do is you want to look at how much contribution room you have. So the government will give you a little bit more room every single year. So, for example, this going into 2023, they're giving you another 7,000. So know what that room is that you have. If, for example, let's say you're over, I don't even know what the bottom age is for the max amount, but I know if you're over 50, you definitely have the maximum amount that you could have. So let's actually go over here. I want to show you a couple of things here. All right. All right, we're going to get rid of Mary and JJ's contest. All right, so every year, of course, you're getting more contribution room, and we're going to just say that this is your contribution room right here. We'll just put it as a 0. I'm going to say that you're 100. I was going to say 150 years old. No, let's just say you're 50. Or maybe you're 44. I don't know, but let's just say that you're 50. That means right now you've got you're going to have 102,000 once January hits. So we're going to do this from January. We're going to use that 102,000. So that means that's how much you can pump into it, right? Now, let's say, for example, you do pump in 102,000. Let's just say you got tons of money. You got an inheritance. You put in the whole 102,000. And as you're moving through the year, you made some good investments. So let's say all of a sudden that TFSA is now at, let's say, 120,000 because you grew it. All right. Now that's still within your 102 contribution, because when you look at it, you basically have 102. That's your contribution. I'll just call it C. And you also have 18,000, and we'll call it G. That's your growth. So you grew this. So let's say you then decided to withdraw the whole thing. So you withdraw the whole thing, and we'll just go this way here, 120 here. It's out. Well, at that point, you have 0 room. You have nothing. So you have 0. But January comes along. All right, and we'll say this here is going to be January 26 comes along. Guess what happens? You get that 120 back. So that's back. Plus, you're going to get whatever their new space is. Let's just say, for example, it's 7,000. So you'll then have a TFSA of 127,000 contribution room. Now, you still have to put, technically, because you took that money and did whatever you did with it, you've got no money in it, but you can then add up to 127,000. Now, here's the danger, though. So with that 102, let's say, for example, and we'll switch to red. Let's say, for example, you made a lot of bad investments, and all of a sudden, your portfolio is only 80,000. At that point, that means, you had 102, but if you were to withdraw that, so let's say you panicked, whatever, or you needed it for whatever reason, you took it out, you would once again have that 0, and then January would come along. But now this time, they're only going to give you back 80,000. And of course, they'll give you your new room. So you're 7,000. So you'll be left with 87,000 at that point. So that's why you want to be a little bit careful. When you're dealing with a TFSA, you don't want to be putting stuff into it that's going to shrink. You really want to be trying to grow it. And depending on, like we did this one here where you grew to 120, but I mean, let's say you had a fantastic year, that could be maybe 150. It could be 160. There's no limit to how big you can grow it. The only limits are in that TFSA, you want no day trading. There we go. Ooh. So, and what they sort of look at is day trading is if you were to, so let's say you have this stock here. If you were to sell and then buy it back right away. So let's say, for example, you sold it at, I'll put a different price in here. So let's say you sold the stock at $100 a share. Then you went and bought it back at $90 a share. Sounds like a great deal, but that's considered day trading. So what would end up happening is the TFSA, the government's going to come in and they're going to say, you can't do that. Now, there is a time, there's a time limit, and that tends to be about 30 days. I always say 31 days just to be on the safe side. So if you want to buy it back, wait 31 days, buy it back. So wait a month. But that's one of those big things. Now, if you sold it at 100 and you bought it back at 110, it's still going to get flagged, but the CRA will look at it and be like, that was a dumb move. And you're not going to, they're not going to ding you for it, but they're looking at you. And I personally don't want the CRA looking at me under any circumstances. So that's just sort of something to keep in mind when you're talking about getting set up with a TFSA. All right, here we go. All right. JJ says, first thing is to have money. Yeah, absolutely. So Missy says, if you do Control A then delete, will that clear your whiteboard? I don't know. Let me just try that. Why not? Control delete. No, it won't. But I have unlimited space on my whiteboard, right? I can go anywhere. I can go over, so I can just move out of it. And then I can just close this one and delete this file and open up a brand new file. It's because I'm using it through Canva. So, heck, I don't even know where. I've actually lost there it is. I was going to say I lost this stuff, but it's there. All right. All right. Patricia is in the house with a hi. Paul's heading back to work. Well, have a good second half of your shift, Paul. Let's see. Missy says, I've heard there are 2 people that have their TFSAs at 4 million. Yeah. There was one guy who had it way up there too, but he was actually day trading in it, and the CRA caught him. So what ends up happening though, if they catch you, they're going to basically make you pay all of the capital gains in there. Now, here's that thing. Let's just say, all right, so let's say that you were day trading in your, all right, so we will say that you are, I'll go with the text for this one here. Whoops, come on, text, give me a text. All right, so let's say that you were day trading for, we'll just say a 6-month period. All right, so you were day trading for 6 months. You got caught. Oh boy. Where's my draw thing at now? All right. I've lost my drawing. Oh, over here on the side. There we go. So let's say you got caught. So what they're going to do is they will then take, they'll block off that 6 months. And they'll say, okay, yeah, we deemed that you were day trading in that 6 months. So even if you were only doing it with one asset, they're not going to care. Anything you sold in here, they're going to hit you for tax-wise. So let's say you had another 3 assets that you did do some selling on, but it wasn't day trading, they don't care. You're going to get taxed. All right. In addition to that, any dividends that you received in that month are going to be taxable. So everything, if they deem 6 months, everything in that 6 months is taxable, or you're going to have growth. Now, here's the other thing too. You have to think about it. You might be thinking, okay, well, fine. They're just going to, they're just going to take that amount of money. But if your TFSA was maxed, so remember before I said we had that 102. If in that time you grew it to, we'll say 110 in those 6 months. Let's say you grew it to 110. Well, after that 6 months, you've got 110. But guess what? Because you grew that 8K, because you grew it outside of the protection of your TFSA, you don't have 110. You still only have 102, but you have 110 in there. So they're then going to they're going to tax you for the you're going to be charged a fee for over contribution. So you'll basically be forced to take that 8K out. Otherwise, they're going to tax you every month for that. They're going to charge you. So that's kind of why you really, really don't want to be doing this, because, sometimes people say, well, okay, sure, I'll just get hit and I'll pay that. But it's really much more complicated when you really dig into it. So don't do it. Don't do it, folks. Just don't do it. Please don't. All right. I think it's Command Delete on a Mac. Oh God. Well, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Command Delete. Nothing happened. That's fine. I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay. I can close this. Like, this is quite literally, like right now. Where am I at? I'm right here. I just simply do this. I close it. I come back over. I go into new Canva. All right. When I excuse me, and I just go into a brand new here we go, whiteboard, and voila, we're ready to start all over again. Brand new. I don't know if it saves them. It might. I might be able to get access to it somewhere. Actually, let's find out if I can. If I come over here and I do if I refresh this, yeah, here's the old whiteboard right here. So I can basically come in here if I want to and move to trash, and it's gone. But yeah, I'll go back into that one because, I think this is the one that has all my stuff in it. I don't know. I don't plan to save these anyway. They're just fun. They're just fun. All right. Let's see. Missy said buy. Paul. AJ says, is it okay to set up a recurring buy for a dividend ETF or stock on top of reinvesting the dividends, or should I buy another? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with setting up a recurring. Like, one of the things, AJ, is there's this thing here called, let's give me the draw, DCA. It stands for dollar cost averaging. So what DCA means is that you're basically going to buy regularly. So let's say you wanted to do a DCA on, we'll go with VFV, for example. So that there is the S&P 500. It's an ETF. It's an ETF. But here's the thing. When you're in here, you might say, let's say I'm going to buy one share. Let's say one share, on the first of every month. So you could set up rules to do that, and that's perfectly fine. And that's not you spending the dividends. You have to, of course, have the money in there to be able to do it. So, like VFV right now is like, what, $150 or something? So you would have to have that money sitting in there. But every month, it would execute that within your TFSA. Now, keep in mind, And I don't even know if you have to keep in mind anything, just as long as, you have the money in there to do it. You can also, now the other thing that you can do, and I know you can do this in Wealthsimple, is something called a DRIP. So basically, it's a dividend reinvestment plan. That's what a DRIP is. So that means, like, let's say, for example, let's say you had Canoe. We'll use Canoe because it's pretty simple. Canoe is sitting at 1570 right now. So Canoe is EIT .un. So you have Canoe, and every month you're getting 10 cents of Canoe. So you're getting a 10-cent dividend every month. We'll just put the 0.10. If you had, we'll say, let's say you have 20. So you have 20 of these, and you're getting 0.10 cents every month. So that works out to $2. Now, if you have DRIP turned on, what that means is even though you have 20, you're now going to buy a fractional share. So from that $2, you'll end up getting, I'm not going to do the math, but it basically would be $15.70. And you got $2. So whatever this fraction works out to be, it's probably going to be around, let's see, 1/7. So maybe we'll just say 0.18. So then all of a sudden, after month one, you're going to have 20.18 shares of EIT. And that will just keep on going until you turn it off. Now, there are some stocks, for example, or ETFs, like RMAX is a fairly new one. This is the REIT ETF. Now, this one here, you can't drip it. So you can't use a drip on it. So those dividends will just get dropped in, and then you would have to re-drip it yourself. So not re-drip it, but you'd have to take those dividends and, buy something else or do what you want with it. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. Let's see. 9 says, also, AJ, if you pull out dividends or interest in a TFSA, track that because it will increase your contribution room for the next year. Yeah, exactly. So if in our old example, let's say, you've got that 120. Let's say you built it to 120. And if every month, let's just say you're picking up, we'll say 50, let's just say $50 just to make it simple. You probably can, with 120, you should be making more than $50 a month. I just picked 50 for the sake of 50. But that means every month, if you pull out that 50, you still have your 120 room. But after after 10 months, that's 500. After 1 year, that's $600. So in January, you're going to get your new room. So maybe your $7K, but you're also going to get that $600 back because you took it out. So then when you take a look at this, you're going to have 127,600 would be your room at the beginning of the next year in total. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Candy says, hi, Candice. Are there any other unwritten rules that apply to TFSA so you do not get flagged? Mostly the behavior, the way you buy and sell. That's your big thing that will get you flagged. If you're doing a lot of trading, in very short periods of time, that is going to pull the algorithm in faster than anything else. Now, keep in mind, if you do it once, it doesn't mean you're going to get hit. Like I've seen people say, oh my God, I did it once, I'm in trouble. Maybe not. They're usually looking for frequency. They're usually looking for the larger amounts too. If you're doing it with a large amount once, you probably will get caught. But if you do it with a couple small ones by mistake, you're probably okay. But you still don't want to do it. But that's the big rule in that TFSA that you want to avoid. Some of the other little unwritten things in the TFSA, not things that won't get you flagged, but one thing is U.S. taxes. So U.S. dividends. We'll put down U.S. dividends. So when you put a stock in your TFSA that has U.S. dividends, it will get hit with withholding tax. HOL. There we go. Withholding. And that's a 15% tax. Now, why does that happen? Well, the reason it happens is that your TFSA, it is a registered account, but the U.S. doesn't recognize it as being registered. The tax treaty between Canada and the U.S., it recognizes the RRSP as a registered, and it all has to do with taxes. So the whole idea, there we go, ES, the whole idea of registered accounts and of the tax treaty is to avoid double taxation. So in your RRSP, you are getting taxed on everything in it. Absolutely everything, when you pull it out, is taxed 100%. So if the U.S. were to charge you a 15% withholding tax on something in your RRSP, you would be taxed on it twice. And that's a big no-no. So that's what they're trying to avoid. Now with the TFSA, you're not getting taxed. It's all 100% tax-free. So when the IRS looks at that one, they're like, oh, yeah, we can tax them. They're not getting taxed. So they only end up getting taxed once. So they do that 15% withholding tax. Now, the worst part is that there is gone forever. You have no way to get that back. There's no way to recover that 15%. It's just gone. Now, if you do it, and like I said, it doesn't happen in your RRSP, but if you did it in your personal account, so let's say you had a non-registered account. There we go, non-registered. Well, that 15%, right? Once again, we don't want double taxation. So if the IRS has taken it, you can then fill out something called a foreign tax credit. Okay, I'm not going to try to spell it right now, but you can pull out a foreign tax credit, and that will recover that, because what's happening there is the Canadian government is now looking, so the CRA is looking at it and saying, oh, you've already been taxed 15%. We're not going to tax you 15%. We're not going to tax you. So we're going to give you a credit to sort of make up for that. So that you can get a little bit of it back. But ideally, if you're looking at high dividends US, your RRSP is the best place for it. Now, if you're looking at a company that, let's say they're paying you a very small dividend, it's mostly growth, it's a US stock, I wouldn't fret. I would throw that in my TFSA personally, because if you've got a dividend of, let's say you have like a small dividend, let's say you have a 1% dividend, if you're going to lose 15%, you're losing 15% of 1%. That's not very much. So it's not really, to me that's not it's not a no-brainer. But if I had like a 10%, I might be then more inclined to say, oh, okay, that 10% is more significant. 15% of that, maybe I don't want to do that. So I might look at it that way. But it's just the way the taxes work. All right. Okay. All right. Michael says, are stocks like McCain and Timber Creek not better investments in a TFSA as opposed to dividend stocks? So when we look at, Timber Creek Financial, TF, here we go. They're known as an MIC. So an MIC is a mortgage investment company. All right. So they act a lot. They act a lot like a REIT. So yeah, in the case of TF, and also with the REITs in general, you definitely want to put them into your TFSA if possible. And one of the big things is, especially, I'm going to put this down here. So with a REIT, so that's a real estate investment trust. They don't pay taxes on their profits. So what they do, but they give all of their profits to the shareholders. So that would be you guys. So because of that, any kind of dividends that you get, they're considered 100% income. So when you have a REIT, and let's give you an example here. We'll go over here to RioCan. All right. So with RioCan here, let's take a look here. So they're giving you a 5.901%, and that works out to 9.2 cents per share. So that is 9.2 cents of income if you're carrying it outside of a registered account. Now, mind you, if you put it in your RRSP, for example, it's 100% taxable because everything is 100% taxable in there when you pull it out. Your TFSA, that there negates that tax. So that's a situation where the government actually kind of loses out. When you put a TFSA, sorry, when you put a REIT in a TFSA, government loses. They do not get anything because, they've not paid, RioCan has not paid those taxes, and you basically got rid of the taxes by using that tax-free. So the best way to go, and it's the same idea with like Timber Creek Financial. Yeah, definitely put those into your TFSA. All right. AJ says, what rules for DCA? So DCA, let's go back. All right. So when you look at a stock, I know it's red. Don't ignore the red. It has no meaning here. So let's say, for example, actually, you know what? I'll do it better. Let's not do red. We won't even do red. Let's just go in. We'll use orange. All right. So here is a typical stock. All right. Let's just bring it in here. All right. Give me a moment here. All right, so we'll just say this is our stock here. This is over years. Now you'll notice that stocks move up, down, up, down, up, down. Some people will look at, well, okay, where do I buy? Where do I buy? Some people will try to do a buy the dip. Buy the dip means you wait for it to go down and you buy the dip. So let's say you did that. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do with my draw. I'm going to come over here. We'll use purple. All right, so let's say, for example, you're waiting to buy the dip, and let's say, oh, you got lucky there, you bought the dip. Now the price goes up and up and up, and the dip comes down, and you're thinking, maybe you bought here, and then you just sort of messed up. But problem is you don't know when that dip is going to happen. You may be waiting for the dip, and you may think, oh, well, the dip is coming, but you never know where you're going to get it. It's hard. It's hard to figure out exactly where that dip is going to be. So, dollar cost averaging, it removes all of that from your. So what you may be doing is you're buying at a regular interval. So for example, you may say, okay, I'm going to buy here, 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 and you're not choosing, it's choosing for you. So it's buying at a regular interval. So what ends up happening is, when all is said and done, You've bought when it's low, you've bought when it's high, you've bought in the middle. So when you actually go to, we'll just do a little line here. When you average that all out, you end up getting the fair market value for that asset. Whereas that one person who keeps saying, like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're right here, and I'm going to use a different color. Let's just use... Well, we'll use blue for this. And I'm going to get rid of our lines here. All right, we'll get rid of those lines. So what ends up happening is sometimes somebody's like, okay, I'm at an all-time high here, so I'm not going to buy. I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to wait for the dip. And they're waiting and they're waiting. And even though they are in the dip, they don't know they're in the dip. They're thinking, oh, it's still going to go down a little bit. Next thing you know, it's all of a sudden it's back up, and they're like, oh God, yeah. And they end up buying. Then they're up here and they're thinking, oh, it starts going down again. They're like, oh, no, it's still going up. And, they end up missing dips. It's very easy to miss dips, and you might end up. So what ends up happening is that person who's trying to time the market, they can get very unlucky, and they could end up, with a line that's a little bit higher than that other line. The dollar cost average person, they probably got a more fair value. And that's kind of one of the big differences. So when you look at buying the dip, statistically buying the dip has beaten timing the market all the time. It always works. Now, you can do a modification of that. What some people will do is they will buy the dip, but maybe they'll keep, maybe they'll keep 10% of their funds for these buy the dip opportunities, and they'll be trying to hit some of these lower ones, And this is kind of what I would say is if you're going to do a hybrid, you've got your main amount up here. And as it's moving along, you get this thing called an adjusted cost base, so ACB. And basically, that is going to be your average. It's basically the average price that you have paid over the length of time of that stock. So if you're going to do a hybrid, let's just say you have an average cost base of, let's just say it's $20, right on the nose. That's your average cost base. Well, what I would do personally with something like this is I would probably put in some limit orders. And I might say, okay, well, anytime it drops down to, let's say $18, I'll maybe I'll buy 5. I might put in an order for that. So maybe buy 5. And then what ends up happening is all of a sudden my adjusted cost base, instead of 20, bang, might end up being like 19, let's say 89 after I've been doing that for a year. So I'm getting a little bit more profit. Not a lot, to be honest, but I'm getting a little bit more. But, but if you're not doing the dollar cost averaging and you're just trying to time the market, you're not going to do well. It's not going to work out for you in the end. So you always want to kind of look at the dollar cost average. It's the best way. Warren Buffett says, time in the market beats timing the market. And he's absolutely 100% right. So this is just something to keep in mind. Let's see. Michael says, I step away. Excuse me. Michael says, I step away for a few minutes. And what are we, numbers? Sometimes. And let's see here. JJ said... Brad from Income Architect just released a video 2 hours ago saying that MicroStrategy may be added to the NASDAQ 100 since they are currently number 42 by market cap on the NASDAQ. Thoughts? Yes, I have heard about this. Here's the interesting thing. I don't know if you guys realize this. When a company gets added to like the NASDAQ, so if you get added to an exchange, I won't call it an exchange, sorry, an index. So when your company gets added to an index, it's good for you. It's really good for that company. Why? Because of ETFs. So what happens is, let's say MicroStrategy, MSTR, well, if they get added to the NASDAQ, there we go, BA, there we go, Q. Believe it or not, that's a Q. Any ETF that replicates the NASDAQ, well, they don't have any MicroStrategy. So what do they have to do? So these are going to be your, your QQQ type ETFs. What they're going to do is they're going to have to buy MicroStrategy. Because especially if you have an equal weighting, you absolutely then have to buy MicroStrategy because, that's part of that basket now. So when you get added to an exchange, these ETFs are going to start buying from you. So that's a bit of extra income and a bit of added buying pressure. So getting added to an exchange tends to knock your price up a bit. So that's kind of why that is exciting. If MicroStrategy gets added to the NASDAQ. So I think they're going to be. I think they are, and I think that will be good for the price of MicroStrategy. Now, mind you, guys, if you've been living under a rock, let's pull this up here. There we go, MSTR. So this here is MicroStrategy. Let's just take a look at the last 3 years. So they've been, they haven't really been doing much until they started adding like crazy to their Bitcoin. They have a lot of Bitcoin, and they're constantly adding. And as you can see, they went from about $53, $387, and this is since January of this year. So if we look at that 1 year, just go to the 1 year, you can sort of see they've absolutely exploded. Now they've come down a little bit now because MicroStrategy has a lot of interesting strategies to buy more Bitcoin, because that's what they're doing. They just buy Bitcoin, they take out debt, they buy Bitcoin. They have convertible bonds that they sell. Then they buy Bitcoin with that as well. So it's kind of like they've been calling it the infinite money printer, but then if they get added to the NASDAQ, that's only going to help them even more. So it's going to be very interesting. So yeah, December. Andrew says, if you buy and never sell and 10x, is it okay? You never have to sell. You never have to sell. It's actually interesting. Rich people, so very rich people, a lot of times what they do is in a way to avoid paying taxes, instead of a salary, a lot of them like to take stock options, and then they never sell the stocks unless they absolutely have to. But the reason they don't sell the stocks is because they're going to sit there as long as they never sell them. There's no capital gains, and what they can do is they can then take loans against their stock portfolio or against those stocks, and the interest on those loans is a tax write-off. So that's kind of what they do. And that's also one of the things, like they'll do it either with stocks or with art. Like, have you ever wondered, how can that picture be worth $20 million, that painting? Well, it's being used by the rich folk as collateral to finance things. And that's why the rich don't pay their fair share of taxes. That's just the system. And I think it annoys politicians to a great deal. But then again, those are the same people that fund their re-election campaigns. So there's not much that they can do. And a lot of them are also fairly well off as well once. So it is kind of a broken system. It's kind of a little bit of a broken system for sure. Benny says, precious info as usual. Thank you. Yes. See, today is one of these days where I asked for the final questions, and look at this. It's an hour later, almost an hour later. That's 45 minutes later. Let's see. The foreign tax credit form is the W8 Ben. That's the one from, I think that's the one from the U.S. I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, though. Mario says, good afternoon. AJ says, sorry for too many questions. Never apologize. Never apologize for questions. That's what I'm here for. The only questions I don't like are the ones that don't get asked. So, and that's kind of corny. So I'll say that's corny. 9 says, I increase my DCA when the price goes down. There we go. Exactly. So this is, once again, this here is 9 incorporating that hybrid into the dollar cost averaging. Mohammed says, hi Candace, what's the effect of Trump's tariffs on Canadian REITs and other sectors? And I mentioned this in the last stream. These tariffs, Trump really doesn't want to levy a 25% tariff on Canada. Those are, I don't want to say a scare tactic, but in a way it is. Look at what the government is doing right now. Right now, the government is looking at how they can beef up the Canadian border. So whether that was his end goal was probably, maybe it was the border. We'll say it was. If his end goal was the border, he threw it in the wrapper of a 25% tariff to make sure that the government was looking at saying, okay, we can fix up the border. We don't want that 25% tariff. That's what he's doing. I don't think you're going to see that 25% tariff hit. I think the government is going to, they're going to beef up the border, and they've already begun looking at it. And they've already said they're going to do it. So I don't think that's going to happen. However, let's say we're wrong, and let's say the tariffs hit. Well, REITs, I don't see REITs as being the number one thing to be impacted by them. But some sectors will be hit big time. Car manufacturing will probably get the worst. So when you look at the manufacturing of a car, right, a lot of times, and we got to go back to the whiteboard for this. All right. Let's see here. All right. This is my U.S. Please forgive me. It's not the best. This is just a sort of a makeshift map. Those are going to be the lakes, blah, blah, blah. We'll add a little Nova Scotia here. So what ends up happening with a lot of these the car stuff is we have parts that are being moved back and forth across the border in the whole process of making a car. So when you have a car manufacturer, most of them are over here, but I'm just using over here because the lakes are in the way. So you may send some of your pieces over here, and they may build something over here. They may add some parts over here. And I apologize, I'm not a car person, so I don't know the name of everything. I know what, let's just say, for example, you're going down here and they're adding a carburetor or something. I don't know. But because of that movement back and forth across the border, if you've got a 25% tariff that all of a sudden is adding all of these prices to the parts that are moving back and forth in the process of building a car, that becomes crazy. Very, very crazy, to the point that if you have a manufacturer, let's say, we'll say Ford. So if Ford is doing some of their manufacturing on the Canadian side and some of it on the US side, this is not going to make sense to them. So what's going to happen? Ford will probably move everything down to the US. So that would be what would happen with that 25%. Is you'll see a lot of American automakers who do work on both sides of the borders. You'll see them consolidating onto the US side because otherwise this moving back and forth and the tariffs would just absolutely be a nightmare. So that would be kind of what we would see in that particular instance. All right, 9 says, like when the yen carry trade issue, oh God, yeah. The yen carry trade caused a lot of issues, but that's at least a stable system now. Jonathan says, your next deep dive video should be how to evade taxes. Oh God, yeah, that would be funny. I don't know if that would be a deep dive, but I always try. Anytime I find something that you can use to evade taxes, I try to throw that in there for you, for sure. All right. Tom says, how are you feeling? Excuse me. I feel great. But the cough is lingering. So hopefully, I'm hoping by Sunday that it's completely gone. Because, Sunday we got this week. We also have the first live stream to introduce the financial blogmas. Plus I have to film. A video, the 0 to 100K. I'm filming that on Sunday as well. Holy banana breads. It's going to be very, very, very interesting for sure. Yeah, it's going to be for Stellantis, same idea. Like they have things on both sides of the border. So that would definitely be impacted by the tariff if it happens. But as I said before, I really don't think it's going to happen. I think this is more of a scare tactic. More of a scare tactic than anything else so that Trump can get what he wants. Because I mentioned before, that's how... when people look at Trump and treat him as a politician, that's the wrong move. If you want to figure out what Trump is doing, if you want to figure out his strategies, you got to look at him like a business person because that's how he's doing it. And that's how you negotiate stuff. You throw more than you want at the person first. So that way when they beat you down to what you actually wanted initially, they feel like they've won, even though you manipulated them exactly to where you needed them to be. So, we talked a little bit about that in the last stream. All right, Andrew says, sorry for the last question. I was wondering if it's okay to sell after a big run-up, like 10x in the TFSA. What were we talking about on your last question? If you buy, never sell, and 10x, is it okay? Okay. Yes. It is absolutely. Yeah, you're talking about taxes. Yeah, just don't buy back. So, for example, one thing that I would do is let's say there was a big run-up. So let's say, for example, let's just say banks. Let's say banks just had a great month and they were all way up. And I'm like, okay, I know that things are about to get bad for banks, so I'm thinking of I might sell. Well, what I would do is, let's say, for example, this was, let's say it was BNS. I might sell in my TFSA at that point. Now, I can't buy back into BNS until, because, especially if the prices start coming down, all of a sudden the banking sector is starting to come down. I'm not going to buy back into BNS for at least 30 days. But what I could do is I could jump into TD instead and then, ride that one up or any other bank. So that's making a sideways movement to do that. So keep in mind, even though it's technically 30 days, I always say gives you that extra day, because then you can't. That extra day makes it so you don't mess up. Because some people might be thinking 30 days, that's a month. But maybe it was February and 28 days passed. So just go with 31. Then you're safe. And if you want to make movements, if you want to play the market a tiny bit, do it, but just do it sideways. Stay in the same sector, move sideways, find things like that. So, for example, here's another one, Bitcoin. So if you're playing with Bitcoin ETFs, they're all going to pretty much move in the direction of Bitcoin, right? Maybe you have BTCC. Bitcoin is, let's say Bitcoin goes up to, let's say it does go up to that 120 that I was talking about, where I think is towards the top. At that point, you may sell, and then the price, let's say it does go back down. Let's say it goes down fast. Let's say it breaks all the way down to, we'll say back down to 90, but you're still within that time period. Well, in that case, buy something different. Buy another Bitcoin ETF, for example. Like you could buy the Evolve Bitcoin ETF, or just don't buy BTCC. You could buy BTCY if you wanted to. At least then you're going to get dividends. Because if you think you're going to be down for a while, like if you think we're in a crypto winter, this is a great one to hold, because at that point you're at least getting your divs, and it's already had its whole loss, right? Or you could just buy another one, and then, I do like BTCY if I know that we're going to be in an extended moving forward. But then once Bitcoin starts to rebound again, I'll move into something different, like a BTCC, that type of thing, because this one here is covered calls. So covered calls mean that you're going to lose upside potential when it does turn around and starts going back up. All right. Andrew says, I'm thinking of holding all-weather mega compounders like DOL for years, then investing into banks when they have high dividends. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And I think, Andrew, it was you the other day that sort of mentioned that, you like to jump into the recession-proof stocks as you're heading into a bear market, and then use them to switch over to some of those high dividend banks and things like that, because they're down in the bear market. So that's not a bad idea at all. All right, guys, we've gone almost 2 hours, I think. 1 hour, 43 minutes. That's a good show. It's a good show. We will be back here on Sunday. As I said before, we got this week. We also have a bonus. I don't know what time yet on Sunday for the bonus. It's just going to happen as it happens. I'll figure that out. I've got to figure it out by Sunday. So until then, everybody, this has been another great show. You guys have been an awesome audience. So if you've not yet hit that like button, do it on the way out. I'll keep watching for the next little bit here as I'm signing out. Let's see if we can get it up to 40. That would be fantastic. Yeah. So until then, guys, have a let me actually, before I do this, there we go. Let's go full screen. All right. Until then, guys, have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you guys. We'll see you Sunday. And then, it all begins. Holy banana bread. This is going to be a crazy month. This is going to be an absolute crazy month, December, as we work through it. It'll be fun. I can't wait. It'll be a ride. Okay, everybody. Until then, take care. We will see you again very, very soon.